Welcome to the Online Success Journey Podcast, your opportunity to discover and learn from entrepreneurs like yourself. This is not your typical podcast, but a place where you can get the real story and find out how real people encounter speed bumps and detours, but journey through to find success. Now here's your host for the Online Success Journey Podcast, Patience.
Hello everyone and welcome to Online Success Journey. This is episode 153. Are you ready to join the clan? Today we have Silvio Porcellana, the owner and the founder of chatterbotsbuilder.com, senior developer, online marketer, team leader, a digital entrepreneur since 1999. Hello Silvio.
Hi there. Hello, Patience. And thank you for having me here. And hello to all your listeners.
Thank you for coming. I know the clan here is anxious to hear your story, so let's get started with the basics. Can you tell my clan a little bit about your background, about what you did before you started your own online business?
Sure. Well, actually, I somehow I can't remember a time when I wasn't working or doing something online or better with computers. I really got in love with everything related to IT and computers when I was a little kid in elementary school. And even if my background, actually I studied economics at university, I always kept being interested in doing stuff on computers and on the internet as soon as it came out. My thesis at the university, for example, was an online trading game I created back in 1997, I guess. An online stock trading game, which was called Fantastock at the time. And that was also my door to actually start working on the internet, since a company that was at the time based in London noticed this website, noticed this game, this online trading game, and they bought it from me in 1999, and then they hired me to work on other project they had and to keep working on that product. And so that was the first time I actually discovered that I could get paid by doing something I really loved and that I would have done anyway. So ever since then, I was mainly a technical, so what they called the CTO, so the technical guy of a few companies, until I actually started founding a few companies. The first one I actually founded was in 2008 with a few friends when I was living in Rome, and it was mostly about SEO, so search engine optimization. It was an agency. It quickly became one of the most prominent and popular SEO agencies here in Italy. And then I moved on creating my as a single founder a company which sold and used to sell a platform for building websites online, so like Wix or one-on-one, these kind of products, and it was a company which was called Mobisit. And then in the past couple of years, I've been expanding that product and adding also the chatbots, the Facebook Messenger chatbots, which is the main my main focus, my main business focus right now.
What a journey. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that tells also that I'm not so young.
Wow.
It's the other side of the coin. Yeah.
Wow. Old and wise, I guess.
Well, I don't know.
In the business world. Okay.
Well, experience. Let's put it experience. I don't know about wise, because you always make mistakes, and you learn from past mistakes. You learn how to make new mistakes, but definitely experience. Yeah, I've seen many things. The .com bust in 2001. And then, I started using the internet when, Facebook was not obviously even a thing, search engines before Google and all that kind of stuff. And then all the rest that happened ever since.
Okay. In your bio, you said you worked with small businesses, then you went on to work with big businesses, and you work around internet and you have seen everything. What is the most dangerous things have you seen within the developing entrepreneur
Mhm.
businesses?
Well, I think there are quite a few mistakes that entrepreneur and wannabe entrepreneur do. I think the most dangerous one, which I've made, and which is very difficult to keep under control, is not thinking or not forcing yourself to think like your customers would do. Well, like your customers would. The usually the times where a business, an idea, project didn't work was when I thought I knew what the market wanted. While it is extremely important to always, I think I can say now that it is extremely important for the success of any business to always talk with the customers, with your prospect customers, as much as you can, because that's who knows. It's them that know what they actually want, what they will be happy to pay for to get what you are building. So always talk a lot and have interview and have communications with the customers. The way I do it now, and if you see, or in any case people who actually see the platforms I build, the online tools I built, I usually start with a very simple and very bare bone product, and then I try to get people on board as quickly as possible, who then I talk with daily, and then they tell me, oh, look, why don't you add this feature? Why don't you add this product? Why don't you do this integration or stuff like that? And that's how these platforms are built. That's how, and that's the best way, because I don't know. I mean, so answering your question, it's you need to acknowledge that you don't know. So you need to be humble in this, acknowledging that you don't know what is right, and ask and listen to people. And I think that applies to any sector. Obviously, I come from the internet and web, web world, but whoever has a restaurant, a bar, or a beauty salon or whatever else, it is important to listen to your customers actually.
You've been in business for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Others, they go in because they need to leave their job, their 9 to 5 job. Others, they want to take care of their babies. But for you, you started from a long time ago at a young age. So why do you do what you do?
Well, I don't. It's like asking a fish why he swims. I think I don't really have any alternative. I tried working, in a company as a quite regular 9 to 5 job, and then like after a couple of months, it was a digital it was actually a maintainer, so where you register domains. It was a maintainer here in Italy, and I started working there as the CTO, as the technical lead. And then after a couple of months, I said to myself, why am I doing this for somebody else? I mean, I can do exactly the same thing and be the owner of the business, clearly with more responsibilities, more risk, but at the same time with more rewards, or more potential rewards, and definitely a much better work-life balance. I think probably the short answer is to find my right balance between work, what I like to do, what I want to do, and all that. Clearly this requires a lot of discipline, which is, I mean, not always there, but it's very important to be focused on what needs to be done, what you need to do, because obviously not having any formal boss, you can wake up and say, today I'm going to play with my phone all day. Clearly you can do that, but then you will pay a pretty hefty price. So it requires a lot of discipline, clearly.
Okay, let's put man aside. How did you
Mm-hmm.
know you were successful?
Well, I think there are two indicators there. One is clearly the amount of money you make. That's definitely the number. Numbers don't lie. And in my career, I was actually able to build these companies as a solo founder who achieved the usual goal was about 10K, 10,000 US dollars per month, which for me is a pretty, being a single founder and working the way I want to work is, a pretty successful, achievement. Given the other leg, the other side of this, which is keeping a very healthy life-work balance. I have a family, I have 3 kids, and I obviously want to keep working as much as I want, but having time, that I can spend with, again, my family, with my friends. So finding this balance, so a business that, produces a good amount of revenues per month, and at the same time having time to actually enjoy the money you actually produce is what I would define as a success. Now, clearly, success is a journey in a sense that I'm not, satisfied with what I have. I want to, make my products to earn always more, and at the same time, I want to keep, this good balance and this, good life I'm actually experiencing. So success is a journey, but at some point you can, acknowledge that you did something good, and I think that's also important for an entrepreneur to be able to recognize that.
Can anyone be an entrepreneur, or can anyone become a really good developer and be successful like what you have done?
I think so. I think now in these times it's easier than ever. Now, obviously, I am a bit biased, and I'm more focused on digital entrepreneurship. But if you see, like back in I don't know, back until the probably year 2000, being an entrepreneur required usually a lot of capitals. It was, or better, or require you to have, to know how to do a craft or something like that. I think that in these years, especially since the internet grew so much as it did, the entrepreneurial idea became a lot more widespread. There are much better tools. This craft, being an entrepreneur is a craft in itself. It's something that you need to study, you need to work on. It's probably easier than it was before. So I have the feeling that now it is more possible than it was a few years ago to actually become an entrepreneur. At the same time, it is also something that you I would like to say, I would like to use the expression a calling, even if it's probably a little bit too strong, but it's you need to feel it inside of yourself, because it's life as an entrepreneur is very different than life as a employee with a 9-to-5 job, which could be more boring, but at the same time, it's obviously safer. You always get, or better, you are pretty sure that you always get your salary at the end of the month. You know how much that salary is. While with entrepreneurship, with any enterprise, you can earn $20,000 one month and $0 the other month, while at the same time having to pay taxes or other costs and all that. So you need to be ready to live this roller coaster. Now, which can be or cannot be, that's also a choice, very, very, with very high highs and very low downs. But at the same time, it can be a little bit flattened out by, making sure that you study, that you make your enterprise work as a system. That's a very important thing, to make things as as predictable as possible. But you need to know that it is a different life than what's in for other kind of jobs. And obviously you need to also be ready to put yourself into the system when it's needed. I remember I was on holiday with my family 3 or 4 years ago, actually, in an island here in Italy, and then like some hackers attacked my servers. The servers where my products and my platforms are hosted, and so I had to spend 3 days out of the week we had as a holiday. I mean, like 12 hours a day on the computer trying to fix this problem. And even the people in the hotel were actually asking me, what are you doing? Why are you on the computer while you should be on holiday? But that's the life of the entrepreneur, where, especially when you are a solo founder, where you don't have a huge team around you.
What have you learned from business as a whole?
Well, a lot of things, many things. And I think the most precious lesson is that you need to learn how to listen. You need to learn how to listen in a very broad sense. You need to learn how to listen to yourself, when you have a feeling, like a gut feeling that something is going to work or something is not going to work. And you need to learn how to actually make this voice come up and, silence all the rest of the noise that you might have in your head or you might hear somehow. And I learned that you need to listen to other people. And again, listen, doesn't mean to hear. I mean, not hearing the sound, but actually understand what they mean and, somehow get in touch with what their feelings are. And I have to be honest, this is not something I am very good at. I mean, I am more an introvert person. So I have difficulties in really, empathizing with the other person and really getting in touch with the deeper, feelings and thoughts and desires of the other person. But to be a successful entrepreneur means to, as they always say, to either solve a problem that a sufficiently large number of people have, or, provide, solve and fulfill a desire that these people have. And in order to do this, you need to be able to listen. So to understand what the actual problem is or what the actual desire is. Since, as there's a saying, they say that, Henry Ford, used to say that if he asked people what they wanted, that they would have responded with faster horses, right? While he was able to actually understand this desire, in this case of mobility for persons, to actually come up with the concept, with the idea of the automobile. The same thing the same thing happened with Steve Jobs with the iPhone. People didn't think they wanted a computer that they could use with touch in their hands, but they felt they wanted to access the internet more often and all that kind of stuff. So in order to be able to do this, you need to really listen, silencing your voices and listen to the other person.
In your businesses, have you ever had mentors or coaches?
Well, I did used to have a mentor, not specifically for business, but in general, like a life coach somehow. And that really helped me. It's something I did also with my wife, because, being the wife of an entrepreneur is not that easy. And so that's something that I did. Under a more, a stricter business point of view, what I'm finding extremely useful and extremely powerful is having masterminds, which I guess your listeners know what are, but let me just, because very simply you gather somehow, a short group of people, 2-3 person I have a mastermind where we are 4 and another one where we are 5. So a short selection of people who are more or less in your same boat. So who are entrepreneurs, marketers, in my case, obviously, or whatever. And we meet online, clearly. We meet periodically. So with one group, we meet once a week, and with the other group, we meet once every 2 weeks. And we spend this hour together, and then obviously these meetings can be organized as anybody wants, but we usually have everybody, tell what they did in the past week or in the past, couple of weeks, what their plans are, what their problems are. And so it's a very, very, powerful, exercise in accountability, because clearly you have other people that that somehow, make you ask you, well, last week you said you were going to send 200 emails. Did you actually send them? So, that's an accountability, very useful accountability thing. And it ties a little bit with the discipline we were talking about. And then it's a chance for yourself while you tell, while you talk, and when you tell your story, what happened, it's a chance for yourself to review the past week or the past couple of weeks. So you actually say, okay, did I do something meaningful and powerful? And then clearly it's a great, chance to get advice, to get suggestions, to discover new products, for example, new tools, and that kind of stuff. While I think mentors are extremely powerful, I think at the same time, and it's probably easier and definitely cheaper, because mentors can be quite expensive, while a mastermind is a group of people that you find, and there are tools online for finding tools and forums and groups where you actually can find people that want to share this experience with you. And so I find it extremely powerful.
What is the most valuable thing your mastermind has told you?
Well, I think the most valuable thing I've learned is it all goes back to the listen idea. So being able to actually synthesize suggestions and advice that you get from people who are, who have a positive feeling toward you, but are not clearly involved in your business, but being able to actually transform and adapt advice that other people can give you about the business, of your business approach or anything, and being able to adapt those to the specific problems and specific issues you have in your business, to make it better, to improve it and make it more powerful and more successful. In short, getting the maximum, or better, applying what other people tell you in general, and not being into your business, but applying that and being able to apply that into your own specific, situation with your own specific problems.
What is one thing that has contributed to your success?
Oh, well, many things. Well, I really cannot pinpoint one, but probably let me tell you two, because I think they are somehow not in contrast, but somehow complementary. And one is curiosity, and the other is discipline. And what I mean by in contrast is in order to be curious, you need to be a little bit, free. You need to freestyle a little bit, because you need to follow your mind somehow, and maybe waste also a little bit of time, wasting quotes, a little bit of time, because then, by wandering with your mind and reading stuff which maybe is not specifically related to what you're doing at that moment, but that's how you get new ideas, you discover new opportunities. But on the other hand, you need a lot of discipline not to let this mind fly away and spend days and weeks wandering in your mind realms and not doing anything. So these two things, to be successful, I think, means finding the right balance between these two tendencies, these two forces that pull you somehow in opposite directions. And you need to make them actually pull you in one direction, which is forward, clearly. And so that's probably one of the most important, one of the most essential thing I would suggest for any entrepreneur. Because again, I know I am in a very mind-driven environment, with a very intellectual environment when you can sit there and think and imagine new products, new tools, and that kind of stuff. But I think this applies in any space, in any market. Again, even if you have, a small supermarket, you still need to imagine new ways to promote your products, to present your products. So curiosity and being there and thinking and dreaming also a little bit, daydreaming is important to help you grow your business.
Okay, tell us more about your Chatterbots Builder platform.
Sure. Well, that's a very, I think it's a very exciting market, and to be honest, I also think it's a pretty good product and a pretty useful platform. It all started in 2016, I think. Yeah, Facebook and especially Facebook Messenger released and started allowing developers like me to create chatbots. A chatbot basically is a software which knows and which can reply automatically and autonomously to people who chat with it on Messenger. So basically, you can attach these chatbots, this software, to a Facebook page, to a Facebook business page. And then when people start chatting and engaging with this page on Messenger, this bot can reply autonomously. I immediately saw a very interesting and great opportunity there, because I think that this conversational marketing can be extremely powerful, but at the same time, a lot of business owners don't have time, resources to spend their days on Messenger replying to prospects, to users who most likely do and ask more or less always the same questions. So where are you? What are your business hours? What's your special today for a restaurant, or stuff like that. So the idea was coming from my background of building tools that make agencies and marketers and business owners use the technology easily. That's my main mission. Basically, I decided to create this tool, basically, which is an online software where you log in, you register, you log in, then you authorize your Facebook, you log in with Facebook, and then you can create these chatbots, which are basically replies to certain keywords, to certain words that will be sent automatically on Messenger when somebody engages and start chatting with your Facebook page. That's the idea. Under a business point of view, there are more people. There are like in April of last year, there were 1.2 billion people using Messenger daily, and we know that we use these instant messaging platform constantly, and millions and millions of pages, 20 million pages, Facebook pages, of which only a very small percentage, like less than 1%, had actually a chatbot. So the market is there, was there, and is there. The product is there, the problem is there, and so that was the perfect storm for building a business. And I have to say that in very few months we launched this product at the end of last year, but let's say in beta, but it was open to everybody at the beginning of this year, and we see an incredibly amount of people being interested in this product, wanting to resell, remarket and rebrand this product, and so I think we found a very good and powerful niche, or actually a very good and powerful market that we want to keep working on.
Okay, so this is only to do with Facebook, no, and other platforms, not Instagram, Twitter, not yet.
No, well, we do have also a product for Twitter where clearly the approach is slightly different. We are still experimenting with that, but we are seeing very good results there. We created a Twitter bot, let's say, which clearly does something slightly different. Basically, it tweets and retweets autonomously based on your interest and based on the audience you want to target. And as a quick result, I added it in this very, very early phase, so it's still in development, but I added it on my account, on my personal Twitter account, and without doing anything, so just letting this bot do everything by itself, I've added 200 followers in about a month and a half. So it is actually doing stuff. It is actually working. But we focused on Facebook Messenger for two reasons. First of all, because it was the one with the most complete integration, so where we could build an actual product which delivered value, and at the same time it is the most popular. It is definitely the most popular instant messaging platform, messenger platform. So there are tons and tons of people every day chatting with businesses and which have the need to actually have something working and something that can help them, do more business also on Messenger. Because we were able to build system for example, collecting leads. So basically, where you start chatting with a bot, the bot asks you a few questions like, where are you located? What is your budget? What is your project? What is your requirement, for example, for a web agency? And then it collects, what is your email address? And then it collects this data and sends it to the bot owner. So you automatically collect leads also on Messenger, and you can then act upon clearly, recontacting these people and following up and all that. We even allow people with our platform to sell products on Messenger. So I don't know, a T-shirt or any product, you can sell it directly on Messenger, allowing your customer to never leave the Messenger, the Messenger experience, the chat app. So we feel it's pretty powerful, actually.
Okay, so where can we find it, and how can we get in contact with you as well?
Of course. Well, the website is with chatbots-builder.com. So, or you can search on Google Chatbots Builder, and we are one of the few of the first results. You can get in touch with me by writing to info@chatbots-builder.com, and I'll be extremely happy to obviously reply to any question, any doubt, any request. Again, we are mainly targeted at agencies, so web agencies and marketing agencies who want to resell this product and want to resell chatbots to their customers, right? So they come on our platform and they can, purchase one of our monthly plans, very affordable plans. For example, we have one with 20 chatbots for $49 per month, and then they can use our platform to build the chatbots that they can then sell to their customers, which are, small and medium businesses usually, for a very, very high markup. Custom chatbot usually goes at least for $500 or $1,000 at least. So you see that an agency that purchases our monthly plan and then sells and builds chatbots for their customers, they can make some very good and very interesting profit.
All right, so Clan, there will be more from Silvio in a moment. If you are listening on one of the many podcast platforms rather than my website and you are encouraged by Silvio's journey, go to Online Success Journey for a bonus portion of the interview. The Online Success Journey is a wonderful membership community built for people searching for paths to success. We are one big clan, and you can be part of this community for free. Once you have joined the clan, click on part 2 of Silvio's journey or over 100 other journeys that are available, and you learn how you can find the right path for your own online success journey. That's a wrap, clan. Remember, success is a journey. Patience and Silvio.
This is not the end of the journey. We hope you've enjoyed listening to part 1 and want to be sure you know there is a second part to this and every journey podcast at onlinesuccessjourney.com, filled with even more success tips, uplifting stories, and even a bit of fun. There are dozens of episodes only available to the members of the Online Success Journey clan. Check out the website and click on Join the Clan for more information. Patience would like to thank you for listening to this podcast, and she has a free audio gift for you at her website. Go to onlinesuccessjourney.com for instant access to this gift. Of course, you know that listening to the journeys of others helps each of us chart our own path. So make sure you're subscribed to be notified as each new interview is posted. There are so many ways to stay connected to the Online Success Journey and to listen in. And if you're enjoying the podcast, we appreciate your help in telling others. One of the best ways to share the benefit you get is to rate and review it at Stitcher and other sites by clicking the stars or completing the ratings form, by clicking thumbs up and leaving a comment on YouTube, or liking and sharing the podcast on social media. To review the podcast within iTunes, simply open iTunes to the podcast, click on Ratings and Reviews, then write a review. On behalf of Patience, and until next time, thanks once more for listening. It is our hope that this podcast will guide you on your own online success journey.